Tanya's here to introduce you to the press secretary for Ann Romney, who wants to be the next First Lady of the United States. Of course, she's the wife to Mitt Romney, and we got to see Ann Romney, I think, do a great job during the Republican National Convention last month. Her press secretary, of course, busy and has a Mid-South connection, doesn't she, Tanya?
She does. I love it when hometown folks do good. You know what I'm saying? I love stories like this. Sarah Haley is who I'm talking about. She may be riding in campaign motorcades and seeing the world from a different view now, but at heart, she's a Mid-South girl.
Yes, I was born and raised in Germantown, to be technical, but yes, born and raised in Memphis.
And no matter where she goes, she's also a Tiger.
I was raised in Memphis, and then I went to college at the University of Memphis and graduated from there. We won't give the year out, but we graduated a little while ago.
She wouldn't let me. That was classified top secret. She's had quite a journey since being homeschooled here in Germantown.
My parents were my greatest and the best professors that I ever had, and then I went away. I went to the University of Memphis, and then from there I moved up to New York City, where I worked up at Fox News Channel, and after there I left and moved down to Washington, D.C., where I served as a press secretary in the United States Senate for Senator Jeff Sessions from Alabama.
And press secretary for Ann Romney. Now, that's quite a job.
It's a lot of fun. Mrs. Romney is a remarkable woman, and I just count it a privilege and an honor to be able to work for her.
I asked Sarah, how in the world did you get into this line of work?
Well, I've always been very passionate about politics, and I've also been very passionate about the news world as well. And so at the University of Memphis, I had majored in broadcasting communication, and at that time, I really thought I was going to go into politics, and that's kind of what my resume was all about. But then towards the end of my senior year in college, I really decided to give the whole communications route a try, and that's where I found myself interning at Fox News Channel, and they hired me at the end of that internship, and I just completely fell in love with that world. And between the news and the political world, being a press secretary just ended up being the perfect fit for me.
Well, Sarah says one thing she's learned in her job is that words matter.
The one thing that you have to pay cognizant of, probably, I would argue probably more so than other professions, is that the power of your words has great impact. Has great impact on the person you work for. It has great impact on the message that you're trying to get out.
She calls it an honor to get to do the job for Mrs. Romney.
She is a remarkable woman, and when I say that, I truly mean it. She has overcome so much in her own personal life. Many people know that she currently has MS, and she's dealing with multiple sclerosis, and then many do not know that she had breast cancer. And all of this on top of, she raised 5 boys, and just the more I learn about her and the more I am with her, I am just completely blown away at what a caring and a giving and just one of the kindest people you'll ever meet. She truly has a servant spirit towards others. And, even me, I'm a staffer for her, and I, have a great working relationship with her, but at the end of the day, I've can't even tell you how many times I've been at her house for an interview. We finish, and just before I leave, she makes sure that I've had dinner, or she makes sure that I have been fed before I leave her house. And she just looks, as after me as she does for so many other people. And so, I know that my position as a press secretary to her, it is my desire to be able to serve her in the best way possible, just to help her be able to communicate to the American people who she is, and more importantly, just who her husband is, and how he is a man with superior leadership qualities, and how she's able to bring that human aspect to her husband for the voters to see, and hopefully they will understand that we have such a clear choice in this election.
Well, she says having a front row seat to history, a little overwhelming sometimes.
It truly is mind-blowing. Sometimes I have to pinch myself, and it was quite funny just the other day. In fact, we were waiting on the governor to arrive to the airport, and I was with Mrs. Romney at the airport, and we saw all of the motorcade escorts showing up. We had the governor, we had Congressman Ryan, so the amount of local law enforcement and then Secret Service that showed up was actually quite amazing. And I remember Mrs. Romney and I just stood at the window looking at it, and she was saying, I just can't believe this. This is amazing. And I asked her, I said, do you ever have a time where you just kind of pinch yourself and wonder, is this really happening? And she says, yes, you mean like right now? And it's just a mind-blowing thing for us to, realize that we're here.
Now, she says she does get back to the Mid-South whenever possible.
I always try to come home as often as I can just to make sure my sisters are staying out of trouble and check up on everybody. But it's always just wonderful to be able to go home whenever it's possible.
And she has a standing request when she makes it back.
Every time that my parents, Rusty and Carol, will come pick me up at the airport, we always have to stop at Tops Barbecue on the way home so I can get my number one regular sandwich with the coleslaw on it.
By the way, Forrest, Germantown commissary banana pudding, a close second for favorite barbecue stuff there. That's Sarah Haley from right here in Germantown, and she is Ann Romney's press secretary, doing a fantastic job. And like I said, seeing all kinds of things that we can only wonder
Absolutely.
about. By the way, you can follow her on Twitter. She is at Sarah Haley TN, SarahHaley TN.